Every casino on Earth has a built-in mathematical guarantee that it will make money, and yet some of the most expensive buildings ever constructed, billion-dollar properties, have gone completely broke within a year of opening. That right there is the thing almost nobody actually understands about this industry. This video is about how casinos really work. And yes, you already know the house always wins, but what you probably don't know is why that guaranteed edge still isn't enough to keep the people who own these places from going bankrupt, and what that tells you about one of the most fascinating businesses ever built. I've spent a lot of time pulling apart the real numbers behind this industry, and by the end of this video, you're going to see the casino business in a completely different way. We're going to go through the actual mechanics, the math, the design, the customers, the costs, and then I'll show you the single reason even a mathematically perfect business can still fail. That last part is the one almost nobody talks about, and it's the most important thing in this whole video. Let's start with something that's going to sound backwards. The most profitable customer in any casino is not the high roller dropping $100,000 at the blackjack table. It's the retired woman sitting at a penny slot machine for 4 hours on a Tuesday afternoon. Here's why. Slot machines generate somewhere between 70 and 80% of casino revenue, and the cheaper the machine, the higher the house edge. Penny slots run a house edge of 12 to 15%. That means for every dollar cycled through that machine, the casino keeps 12 to 15 cents. And because that woman is sitting there for hours, feeding money through continuously, the casino is grinding out a return on her that is statistically more efficient than almost any other customer in the building, including the guy in the VIP room. The U.S. commercial casino industry generated $66.52 billion in 2023, a third straight year of record performance. A massive chunk of that came from people who thought they were just having a little fun on a machine that costs a penny to play. So why do casinos spend so much energy on the big whales? Because the math works differently at scale. In Macau, which pulls in roughly $31 billion a year, more than 4 times what the Las Vegas Strip makes from gambling alone, around 87% of gaming revenue came from baccarat, and the majority of that came from VIP rooms. A single high roller can lose millions in a weekend, so the casino flies him in on a private jet, puts him in a penthouse, gives him a personal chef, and covers everything, because his expected loss over those 2 or 3 days still dwarfs what it costs to bring him there. The casino is not being generous. It's making a calculated investment with a very clear expected return. And that word, expected, is the key to the whole thing. The house edge is not a guarantee that you win every hand. It's a guarantee that over enough hands, the math resolves in the casino's favor. On American roulette, the house edge is 5.26%. On blackjack, sometimes as low as 0.5%. But over millions of bets, those percentages become billions of dollars. The math is essentially bulletproof, and that's exactly what makes the trap so dangerous. Here's the thing that's easy to miss. A modern Vegas resort barely even functions as a casino anymore. Gaming revenue accounted for just 35.8% of total revenue at Nevada casinos in the state's 2024 fiscal year, with the Strip alone generating $21.8 billion in total revenue. The rest came from hotel rooms, restaurants, nightclubs, shows, and everything else inside those buildings. The casino floor is essentially a loss leader. It's the reason you walked in the door, but the building makes its real money once you're already inside and your wallet is open. That's why they build things like the Sphere. That's why they fly in Michelin-starred chefs. The gambling is the hook. Everything else is where the margins actually live. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. And this is the open loop I want you to hold on to for the next few minutes. If the math is guaranteed and the revenue is enormous, why does the casino industry produce some of the most spectacular business failures in history? I'll get to the exact answer, but first you need to understand what's actually happening inside the building, because it's more deliberate than most people realize. There are no clocks in a casino. There are no windows. The layout is intentionally confusing. Walkways that seem to lead to the exit but loop you back past more machines. The carpet patterns are designed to draw your eyes downward, toward the floor, toward the slots. The industry calls this engineered immersion, and the goal is simple. Remove every external reference point that might tell you how much time has passed. Because the longer you stay, the more the math works. It's not trying to beat you in one big moment. It's trying to hold you in the building until the percentage does its job quietly, bet by bet. And the free drinks are part of that system too. The Players Club card you get when you walk in tracks every single bet you make and calculates your theoretical loss. Meaning, based on how much you've wagered and the house edge on the games you played, here's how much the casino statistically expects to keep from you. If that number is $500, the casino might give you back $25 to $50 worth of comps. A free dinner, a discounted room, a drink. They're not losing that money. They're spending it to keep you in the building longer because more time means the math resolves more completely in their favor. A slightly drunk gambler also bets bigger and leaves later. The hospitality is a tool. Now here's something the casino industry doesn't really advertise. Over the past decade, casinos have quietly been cutting the number of dealer-run table games and raising minimum bets on busy nights. The low-stakes blackjack player, the guy betting $10 a hand, is getting pushed toward electronic tables and slot machines. The casino would rather have that floor space generating more revenue per square foot from a different type of customer. The casual table player, the one who thinks he's the target audience, is increasingly not wanted at the real tables. Be honest, if someone had told you that before you walked into a casino, would you have believed them? So now we have a business with a mathematical edge on every dollar, a building designed to keep you inside, a comp system that turns hospitality into a retention tool, and a revenue model that makes money off everything from your hotel room to your dinner. The Las Vegas Strip had a great year in 2023, logging a 7.2% increase in gaming revenue over 2022, with casinos reporting over $8.8 billion in gaming revenue. On paper, this should be one of the most stable businesses in the world. And here is where I need to come back to the question I opened with. Why do casino owners go broke? The Trump Taj Mahal was heavily over-leveraged from its opening, financed largely with about $675 million in high-yield junk bonds, carrying roughly 14% interest, which created immediate cash flow strain and led to a Chapter 11 filing in 1991. Think about what that interest rate actually means in practice. To get the Taj Mahal open, $675 million was raised mostly from junk bonds, and analysts were skeptical that any casino could make enough money to cover the interest payments on those bonds. You're not just running a casino at that point. You need to generate nearly $100 million a year just to service the debt before you pay a single employee, buy a single deck of cards, or keep a single light on. The Taj Mahal brought in enormous piles of money that summer, but when the cold winds of October came, the casino missed its first debt payment. By 1991, the Taj Mahal was in bankruptcy court. The casino was actually making money. It just wasn't making enough money fast enough to survive the debt it was carrying. This reliance on expensive junk bond capital converted what might have been a manageable short-term operating loss into an immediate solvency issue because the casino's cash flow profile could not absorb the higher interest burden. Within 15 months of opening, the scale and price of that debt rendered the capital structure untenable, forcing a Chapter 11 filing. That is the paradox at the center of this entire industry. The math is bulletproof, the business model works, but the house edge is fixed. You cannot raise it when times get hard. You cannot charge 8% on roulette in a bad quarter instead of 5.26. The revenue is as close to guaranteed as any business gets. And that very guarantee is what tempts owners into taking on debt loads that require the building to perform perfectly from day one. And no casino performs perfectly from day one. There's a ramp-up period. There are slow seasons. There are competitors opening nearby. There are market shifts. The math eventually wins. But eventually is not a timeline that junk bond holders are willing to wait for. The same story played out in Atlantic City with the Revel Casino, which cost $2.4 billion to build and sold 2 years after opening for around $82 million. 3 cents on the dollar. The math was still there. The house edge didn't disappear. The problem was everything built on top of it. The debt, the operating costs, the timing, the market fit. And those operating costs are real. A major resort employs anywhere from 3,000 to 8,000 people. Nevada takes 6.75% of gaming revenue in taxes, and in places like Pennsylvania, slots are taxed at over 50%. Security costs are enormous. These buildings have more cameras per square foot than most prisons. Card decks get replaced every 4 to 8 hours. The math gives you the revenue. Everything underneath it is a street fight. The US gaming industry grew for the 4th straight year in 2024, with $71.9 billion in revenue. This is a massive, durable industry. The operators who survive long enough, who manage their debt, match their product to their market, and let the math compound over years and decades, build some of the largest fortunes in the world. MGM, Wynn, Las Vegas Sands. These are generational wealth machines. But the graveyard of failed casino projects is just as large, filled with buildings that had the same mathematical edge and still couldn't make it. The real lesson here isn't about gambling. It's about the gap between having a guaranteed advantage and actually surviving long enough to collect it. The math is patient, debt is not. And the operators who confuse a guaranteed revenue model with a guaranteed business are the ones who end up in bankruptcy court, while the slot machines they built are still spinning for someone else's profit. If this kind of breakdown is your thing, I did the same analysis on cruise ships, another industry that looks like it prints money on the surface, but hides a completely different business underneath. That one will genuinely surprise you, especially when you see how similar the revenue model actually is to what we just talked about. The link is right there, and if you want to see more videos like this one, subscribing actually helps more than you'd think. It tells the algorithm this is the kind of content worth showing people, which means I can keep making it. Drop a comment too. I'm curious. Did you already know about the penny slot edge? Or did that one catch you off guard? Because most people assume the high-stakes tables are where casinos make their real money, and the answer is genuinely the opposite. The math always wins. The question is whether you're still standing when it does.